friends and family of YouTube, and welcome to my YouTube channel called Towards the Heights, That Catholic Girl. So in my last video, I talked about the Blessed Virgin Mary and how she is a big part of my life and um, my relationship with her and my deep love and devotion to her, and how we can have a relationship with her on a daily basis, even in the simplest of ways. And so today I wanted to talk about my faith walk journey and like how I like my journey to Mary, but really the journey to where I am right now in my Catholic faith and the difficulties and the trials of that whole journey, which started when I was actually in 7th grade at the age of 12. And I have notes that I'm gonna read. It's kind of like a storybook, but I don't know, it's just my notes that I'm gonna read. Um, Hopefully the video's not going to be as long, but I want it to be between like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. 20 minutes or less would be good. So here is my uh, faith walk journey. Alright, so it all started when I became homeschooled in 7th grade at the age of 12. Now, being homeschooled, um, it wasn't forced upon me, but it was really a decision that my parents let me make, and which I am so happy about that because I was able to do it out of my own free will. And so being homeschooled it was really good. I was homeschooled all throughout, well, from 7th grade to 9th grade and all throughout high school. So it was good but difficult because, I didn't have my friends there all the time like I would if I was going to public school. So that was the main difficulty of it. But it did help me to get my grades up and to go at my own pace and everything. But most importantly, being homeschooled helped me to grow deeper and deeper into my faith. So this is my story. When I was in 7th grade at age 12, I received the blessing of being homeschooled, which I decided on my own and out of my own free will. However, it was somewhat of a difficult choice to be homeschooled because I knew that I wouldn't be able to see my friends on a daily basis. But it was good because I got to call them and everything. Even though I really loved science, my favorite subject, I would most definitely have to say, was my religion class. It was in my class of religion that I was able to really dig deep into my Catholic faith for the first time ever. Even though I've been Catholic my entire life, and even though God has been a part of my life since forever ago, and present throughout my life as well, even in the littlest details, in one way or another, it wasn't until I became homeschooled that I began to have a deeper relationship with God, and that my love for devotion to and admiration of the scriptures, prayer, the Holy Eucharist, the Mass, the angels, the saints, all of that truly became real for me and tangible. So being homeschooled not only helped me with my grades, but it was also beneficial to me in my faith walk towards Christ. And I honestly feel like if I wasn't homeschooled, I would not be where I am now because I don't think I'd have like the opportunities I had in being homeschooled. However, at the age of 14 in 2008, I began struggling with my self-esteem, self-worth, self-value, and self-confidence, which I think all of us struggle with at one point of time. And it can either make you or break you, and you can grow from it, or you can just go inwardly into yourself. I saw myself so differently and set apart from family and friends, also because I struggled with wanting to fit in so much and with making friends. Growing up, I was a shy person. I still am. I'm very introverted, so I'm an introvert. And so I struggled growing up with just wanting to be a part of the in crowd. I knew that being different and unique was a good thing. However, I didn't know how to cope with it or to truly accept it. I began thinking and believing that the only reason my people and friends talked to me was because they were just being nice to me, or because they felt sorry for me in one way or another, or something like that. But that was more in my head and in my mind than in theirs, of course. I began to believe that I really did not have anything to offer in this life, or to anyone, nor did I think I was special or good enough or competent enough, and I didn't believe in myself. I didn't think I was good at anything really, unlike my family members in whom I saw so many gifts and talents. And I realized from that I kept comparing myself to, like, those to people around me, and I saw how much comparison is truly the thief of joy and happiness and just accepting and loving yourself, because you're so focused on what other people think about you and just what other people are doing than focusing on yourself and trying to see the beauty in yourself and who God made you to be, and who God made you, and that you are a beloved daughter or son of God. I tried to constantly compare myself to others, especially to those who are popular than me, whether it was my siblings or my friends or whoever. And and because of that, I fell into about 3 or 4 long and agonizing months of depression. A depression, and I had never experienced that before. I was never depressed before that, and I never experienced what it was to be depressed. And so it was a depression that I really did not think I'd ever come out of. Like, I felt so trapped. I felt like I was in a box. And I felt so alone, stuck, and like I wasn't gonna get out. I would continually think back to this baby girl so when I was in the NICU as a little baby, there was also this other baby girl who was in the NICU right next to me, and she was bigger than me and healthier than me. And yeah, and sometime during that time, she passed away. And how I see it, it's like, okay, she was healthier than me and bigger than me, and yet God chose to take her instead of me. It's as if He looked down on both of us and was like, to that little girl, she said, "I want you to come with me," and then to me, like, I still have work for you to do. Like, you need to stay, even though I was at death's door so many times, the NICU as an infant. And so, as I thought about that little girl during this difficult time, and during these months, I I would think back and think, like, why did God choose to save my life and not hers? I felt like I should be the one who shouldn't be here, and she should be the one who should be here. And what I wondered, like, if, like, what is God's will for me? What is my purpose? And it was hard for me to see my purpose because it was hard for me to see my worth and my value, because I would compare myself to others. Um, During this time, I it, it was so it was so difficult for me during this time to pray and to talk to my friends and my family, let alone my family, about all of this, especially since I myself am an introverted person and somewhat emotional. I would sink into myself and I drifted even farther away from God. I would oftentimes think of death, and at times I try, like, secretly cutting myself, but I could never bring myself to do it. I came to believe that it would be better for me and for others if I wasn't here anymore. And so the day came that I decided to take my life into my own hands and to therefore end it. And so this was I think in 2008 too. Um, and as I recall that day, it was a beautiful day with the sun shining down and it was really warm. As I was watching cars go by, I thought of my family and my friends. In my heart, I said a goodbye to them. As I stood in my driveway, I looked to the left of me and I could see a car coming down my street. I began going towards the street to get in order to purposely get hit by the oncoming car. But as I was about to go into the street to get hit by the oncoming car, I suddenly felt it happened so suddenly. I suddenly felt something or someone gently pull me back away from the street. And thinking back, excuse me, thinking back to that day and to that moment, I honestly feel and believe like that was God interceding. That was my angel saying, no, this isn't this isn't right, and so that he intervenes, my guardian angel. The car drove right past my house. However, I don't really remember what I did afterwards, other than me possibly going back inside the house. Nevertheless, I knew in my heart that God had just saved my life once again. And I say once again because, like I said before, when I was in the NICU, I was near death so many times. And he could have taken my life, but he didn't. And even now, when I was in such a dark place, he intervened again. And it was as if he was saying, I have a plan for you. I have a plan for you. Just hold on, have faith, like have hope and have faith, and to pray, which was really hard for me to do when you can't see what's in front of you and you're blinded by the light. You're blinded not by the light, but you're blinded by the darkness that's inside of you. And that's going on inside of you. So within the same year, 2008, and still being a little bit in my depression, I went on a week-long trip to Ogle Bay with my sister in our church youth group, which was called New Teen Vision, or NTV, we called it. During that trip to Ogle Bay and with all of our friends, people gave these awesome, encouraging, inspirational, and emotional, and very touching and deep and powerful talks about how God had worked in their lives and how He had taken them through the valleys and the darkness of their lives and how they overcame their trials and their sufferings and their difficulties. I was amazed at how much I was able to relate to the people giving the talks. During those talks, so many tears were in my eyes, and so many tears were being shed as well. And we all became a family. It's so beautiful how when one person suffers, the whole family suffers. Just like we are all a part of the body of Christ and a part of the mystical body of Christ. When one part of that body suffers, the whole body suffers along with it. And you become one and you become family.